Lamb is going, excuse me, what? And is actually kind of asking
This is
Zan to
super-
explain the deck.
This is this is super fun. What's happening here? Jonathan Lamb's getting a look at these cards. I think also what's happening is Zan is explaining
This is
the full combo.
pre-coaching.
He's like, look, man, this is what I'm about to do. Because what's going to happen, there's going to come a point in this game where one of these games where Zan has the combo, and you're not going to see it, just like when we watched it earlier
He's
today.
pulling it out, too.
Right? You're not going to see the combo happen, right? Zan's just going to go, okay, I've got it. Are you really going to make me draw through my entire deck and play this card, 8 times and actually do the thing? Or are we just going to agree that I can win the game right now? And that's going to happen.
They kind of use it as like this element of surprise.
Right. So Zan is like, element of surprise gone. Zan's just like, look, man, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this card in play. I'm going to put this card in play. And that means I won the game. Just so you know, like when that happens, that's what's going to happen. And
Shout out to Elbitchy21. Here is how I'm about to cook.
yeah, here's how I'm about to cook. This is what's going on here.
Tonight I am presenting a meal. And the thing is we have seen, so for people just tuning in, like we said, there's 2 matches. There's the other stream is showing the other top 4 match. But this one is exciting because this is a deck we have not seen in the final 4.
Yeah, if you're tuning away from this, what are you doing?
Yeah, first off, how are you hearing us? That's so confusing.
That's true.
But also, we saw Zan already play this matchup. Now, the difference is Zan is the 12th seed. Jonathan Lamb is the 9th seed. For those playing at home, higher seed goes first. So he already has a little bit of uphill battle because as we saw, there was in the matchup in game 2 of that round 8, my memory is so good, where Zan put down the whale. The whale must be dry for the combo to work. You cannot do the thing you need to do until the whale is done because he needs to sing forever.
Right.
So the problem is
Whale song.
he passed the turn and then the Amethyst Seal deck had a Zeus and a String. So Jonathan Lamb has to be so careful with his removal because now he has to say this whale shan't sing on my watch.
Yeah. Shannot. Yeah. That whale is a great finisher, but not if it gets blasted beforehand. Yeah. Okay. So one of the things about this combo deck, and I've been thinking about this all day, but and Luke Wonderland also highlighted this in our conversation. One of the reasons this deck is so good is because it's basically a Blurple deck with a different endgame, and it makes use of the Amethyst shell. It has all of the good Amethyst cards that you love to have in the mid game. It even has the 1-drops that you often see played with Rafiki. And then the Palace Guard in the 1-drop slot for a little aggro control. And then, so you have to ask, why is Blurple good? What does it give you? What does splashing the Sapphire give you? And it gives you a few things, right? It gives you the ramp, and then it gives, which you replace with the Lantern. You're taking turn 2 off to play the Lantern instead. And then it gives you, you do lose Into the Unknown, but you have like a card that you love, the
Horseman Strikes.
Horseman Strikes, which is that spot removal, which removes a lot of the worst threats in this meta.
Yeah.
And then, so the other thing that you lose is the Hades, which is some fantastic removal, and you can't truly replace it, but you do have Demona, which allows you to exert your opponent's board and do some work there. And so you're giving up blue tools, you're partially replacing them, and that allows you to work in these amber cards. And by getting Alan Adale and by working in We Know the Way, like it gives you that infinite combo. So and to be fair, there's some other cards that you need to work out because you have to get the Great Illuminary and We Know the Way in there. That's several copies of that, so you lose some potency. But at the end of the day, this is another Amethyst clone, just with this really interesting amber splash.
Yeah, and I mean it is. To your point, I mean, it has its own little tricks, like you said. I mean, I need to read into this, Donald, because I know that's part of it. People have called it Moby Duck. I have not seen the duck. I have not seen people do. It's very fun. The Moby Duck deck. Zan gets to name it.
Copy print.
Yeah, copy print. It's fine.
Well, he had his opportunity. He named it combo on his deck list.
What? See, this is why Zan has Jeremy. I think this is why Jeremy is his sidekick, is he needs somebody. He needs Jeremy Bertoni to say, "Did you just name your deck?" Because I would like to point out the name of Jonathan Lamb's deck is
I Want to Be Tiago.
Yes. And honestly, fair, because he is on World Class Cards, and World Class Cards has 2 juggernauts of the Amethyst Steel world, and that is Tiago and this man who's played a couple games. You might know him. His name is Frank Karsten, who just took down DLC Milwaukee. So you do see the Timothy Q Mouse in here, the signature move of Karsten fans everywhere.
Yeah, right.
So I imagine, being that they are teammates, they probably talked. I'm sure they have talked a couple times about this deck. Have they talked about this matchup? Probably not.
No.
They have not talked about, hey guys, I'm really worried about it. What if I get matched up against
What if I run into
Amethyst?
Moby Duck?
Yeah, Moby Duck, what do I do? And they say Ahab or something. I don't know. I haven't read the book. But either way, they both looked at the deck list longer than I have seen. Because I mean, I will mention most deck checks, they literally quite look at the list and see what's different. It literally is just their brain checking and saying, okay, what's different? But knowing that one of them had a combo deck and the other one is looking at a deck list that is influenced by Tiago and Frank Carson, you saw Zan looking at it pretty intently too and saying, what are the one ofs? And there are a few one ofs. We have only just one He Hurled His Thunderbolt. We have just one Timothy Q Mouse. Then there's lots of 2s and 3s. And we have Hypnotic Strengths, which I don't know if Zan is running any illusions. I don't see any, but life is filled with confusing things. We have seen Zan use the Cheshire Cat to great effect here. But yeah, I mean, I am very, very, very excited. We have some wonderful people. We have Rebecca Quest in here, who I believe, Rebecca, you revealed we know the way, right? Because I believe you make me dance. And I was like, the first time I met you, and you said, hi, when I meet you, you're going to dance. And you have not stopped making me dance. So thank you, Rebecca.
That is true.
She makes us dance. Thank you.
That is true.
But it is a card. Watch, Rebecca, it's happening. Isn't that exciting when a card that you
revealed is
doing something?
I'm still waiting for healing glow.
Yeah.
To be a competitively
Don't worry,
played
Grandpappy
card.
deck is coming, and the Spirit Gum has also almost come out of your eyebrows.
Almost. Or Longboat, I saw some fringe play, right?
Oh,
Right?
Atlantis, Restored Atlantis. There's a moment, and Rockstar
Right?
Stitch had a moment. So honestly, I'm doing okay so far. But yeah, this is a content creator war where we all beat each other up and say, "Hey, your card hasn't been here."
Yeah, your card's terrible. Work together, right? I got to reveal that
Yeah.
card. That's good, right?
Yeah. So here we go. Now, we did ask the judge, you are allowed to have a rat on your shoulder as long as it's not on your head and pulling your hair and telling you what cards to play.
Mhm.
You can have Remy sit on your shoulder.
He just can't take notes.
Correct. He cannot take notes and he cannot give advice, but he can participate and watch. So you are allowed to have an audience.
Mhm. Mhm.
Little Ratatouille Joe. Pixar coming in Wilds Unknown.
The day that Remy's in, like, that Ratatouille makes it, I'm going to be very excited.
I cannot wait. Cannot wait for the card. Ka-chow.
Ka-chow. Also, yeah, that better be a card, like, on its
I hope
own.
there's happy ka-chow and sad ka-chow. Ka-chow, parenthesis happy, ka-chow, parenthesis sad. I don't know what, but there's ka-chow.
Ka-chow. Also, in the vein of Pixar, we'll get back to Game of Promise, but Turning Red
They've
coming,
been
and I
getting quite
can't wait
ready for a
for
while.
Four Town. I want two things. I want the Four Town songs, right?
Yes.
You're never not on my mind, and then I want each one of the characters.
Yes.
Each one of the
because
four.
everybody all knows all four, and that
No,
is
there's five, right? There's a line in the movie, they're like, why are there? It's four. Why are there five of them?
I need to watch that movie again. And honestly, shout out to Disney Lorcana for always making sure that there's a movie. I'm like, I don't think I know it as well as I thought. But here we go. Jonathan Lamb saying, listen, I got to go first and I got to have strength. So here we go. He's keeping a hook and he's looking at those Dumbos going, that is quite tempting. He's keeping, oh, wow. So he is, this is my least favorite part where they keep putting piles up and down. But no, he goes ahead and keeps only a strength and a hook.
Did he keep the strength?
Yeah, he had one strength, one hook, and
Okay.
then but he sent back one.
He shifted the other
Yeah,
strength.
he didn't want to get too greedy, but then we see 6 being altered on Zan's side. So both of them are looking for a pretty specific plan, but they're both so different. Zan is not really aggro. He's trying to hit that lantern. Lantern is very key to his plan. But Jonathan Lamb has that beautiful, beautiful thing where he's like, I got to play a 1 cost, I got to play a 2 cost, then I'm going to play a 3 cost, and on 4, I'm going to sing strength. So that is his plan.
And on 5, I'm making waffles.
In a 5, yes. So they're gonna go ahead and get ready on this. They're both players that I'm sure have met in life because I mean these are two very storied players. I mean they both have golden Mickeys, I believe, right? Yes.
Yeah, I do wonder. I can't remember if they overlapped at all on World Class Cards. Zan used to be a World Class Cards member. I think Jonathan Lamb was brought on after.
Wow.
So they were not teammates, but certainly they move in the same circles and have most likely played each other numerous times. Jonathan Lamb, another accomplished player. I remember him first popped on my radar in Toronto. He was the top seed going into the top 64 and lost in round 1 as the number 1 seed, which was a huge bummer. But
people were talking about the shuffle, and as they did that, they made Jonathan Lamb accidentally explode his deck. So that was on you guys, chat. You stressed him out so much he exploded it. But shout out to Sleeves when like you put too much pressure and they just explode and you feel silly. But here we go. They are shuffling. You are allowed to shuffle your opponent's deck. Just a fun fact. You don't have to just cut it. You can shuffle. That is part of it.
yeah, and a lot of people would argue that that's the right thing to do.
Technically
and that we
is.
should normalize
Yeah.
that.
And it's not rude, guys. You're not accusing anyone of cheating, right? It's not like when you bite someone's dollar to see if it's not chocolate. Is that something? That's maybe what UConn does in Rudolph. But either way, here we go. So we have Jonathan Lamb going to be going first. We saw him hard mulligan. He's doing back 5, but I guess that's not the hardest. A medium mulligan, or altar rather, a medium altar. But he kept one hook. Does he have a 2-drop? Because that's going to definitely determine how this is going to go. Because he needs a 2. Yep. Ooh, Hudson is 3. So, all right. Looks like we're getting hook on 2.
I don't see the 2. Yeah, right. I got something. I got hook on 2. Keep that strength, maximum strength, and we'll see
Yeah.
how we go here. On Zan's side, I don't see the lantern. He loves to establish that on turn 2 as a form of ramp. We do have a couple guidebooks down there, revealed by JDZ. I see you in the chat. And let's see what else in terms of. I can't see anymore. We'll see. I'm really excited. Katie. I'm really excited for this match. This is peak Lorcana.
It is. And it's so crazy because I feel like it can go fast and it cannot go fast because really it's how are we going to play on this curve? We know that he has got the hook down. That's first step. He just has to draw a 2 cost. Now he doesn't have to. So the reason we say you want to draw, because obviously the cards get more powerful as you have the higher ink combo. So he kind of just needs a body though. So plan B is just play a hook. But here we go. Palace Guard, the friend of Royal Guard. I always get them confused, but this is the octopus version.
That's Guard.
Yeah, Guard. Octopus Soldier, which the second part's easy. That's easy to remember. So here we go. He's doing an interesting thing here where he keeps like going through his hand and kind of sorting it and doing some decision making. I keep thinking he's like altering it again, which honestly fair. Sometimes you're like, maybe I will do second alter. But he's planning out his turns, I imagine.
Yeah, I think he's figuring out what he's
if he can
inking
do
turn
2.
after turn and trying to figure out, because based on his inkables and uninkables, he's trying to figure out, I think, do I need, this is my guess,
Yes.
do I need the hook this turn or do I want to save this as ink for a later turn?
Yeah.
Do I need, based on Zan's deck list, is it super important that I have a full power strength or not? Can I afford it or not? And here it looks like the choice being, I am going to play the hook. There it is. A bevy of hooks, a ship full of hooks, a full bunch of pirates down there. A crew full of hooks.
A bevy of pirates. A clutch of captains. Either way, we have 3 forceful duelists down. And yeah, the math is also kind of to that strength because I mean he's like, do I need to hit for 3 or do I need to hit for 4? Do I need to hit for 5? Now he's probably thinking about things like a genie because he can use that strength. Now he's thinking it through post playing. He's also let's see here. He's got that Royal Guard here. I'm trying to remember. Does he have Challenger?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah. So I wonder if he's sitting here making that choice. Yeah, he cannot turn these captain hook sideways. If he's investing in his strength future, he needs all captains on deck. But a lot of thinking here early on. So he's definitely thinking several turns down the line right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And both these players, very, very methodical players. I mean, we've all seen Zan play. If you've seen Jonathan Lamb play as well, both of them very thoughtful, very methodical players, thinking multiple turns ahead. So this is going to be a game where both players are fully considering their options each and every turn as they try to navigate this matchup. So we may be in for a ride, folks. This is going to be a fun game as we get to navigate. I don't know, pretty fun matchup. Here we have the guidebook here on turn 2, revealed by JDZ Quests. And
yes, what is this a celebrity? Guys, sponsored by JDZ Quests and Rekka Quest.
Not the lantern. This is a card that's seen more play recently. Didn't see a ton of play in the early meta, but people working it in later, and it's pretty popular now because it means you have to rely less on the second star and blurple matchups, and you can remove some other card draw. And it's an ink sync too, so it lets you drop this on the board on turns where you're not doing anything else, and then draw 2 cards later. So a card that is a little more popular now.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, I kind of, when you have the math that's funky, you have this as an investment, you're like, don't worry, this will pay off later. Just pay 2 now, 1 later. It's so funny. I just had a flashback, like a That's So Raven moment, but it was backwards. I interviewed Zan during the last CCS, and he was playing what was called at the time Baja Blast, but we've seen it more now, and it's just a good old-fashioned brew, if you will. Either way, grew, rather. I asked him, I said, how hard was it to prepare playing a deck like this for this tournament? And he said, it's not hard. Everybody else has to learn how to play around me. So this is a very interesting moment because it sounds like this is happening again, where we have basically Zan saying, I know how to play my deck. Jonathan, do you know how to play against my deck? Brandon, the Candio here in the chat saying, yay, Thiago didn't win.
Yeah, Brandon DeCandio.
You're relieved from duty.
That's right. Brandon DeCandio merging now that Thiago has. I'm just kidding, but we did have Brandon did issue a challenge later on, or last Charlie's saying, hey, if somebody rinsed twice in a row, I will. It has to be in a row. I'll come out of retirement and maybe try to defend my title. But
Yeah.
safe this time. It's like the 1978 Dolphins. Every time every football team loses a game, they celebrate.
A fun fact about Tiago, though, is I did see him, and Tiago is one of my favorite people to run into because he wears his emotions on his sleeve, and he is like, oh, and I'm like, what? And he's like, well, I have to play because I'm in the second tournament, and he's collecting Charlie points. So I do like that they have the Charlie points because I mean, people are out there hustling for the Charlie points. So he's out there in the 3K, I believe that's going on. A lot of the players are out there, but not these four players. These four players are playing in the 25K. uh, it's the qualifier for an invitational and one of the bigger invitationals, nationals, the CCQ.
Yeah. So I was just looking at the chat, correcting my year. 72 Dolphins. Yeah, it was Dolphins in the
Wow,
70s. I was close.
It made it over my head that you made that
It
reference.
was a little sports ball reference for folks.
Oh,
Brendan said he said 3. You know, 2. I think 2 is good.
You guys are gonna get a lot of amping from me and Liam here,
Yes.
guys.
Yes.
But here we go. We have Lexington coming in, going. That's how I imagine, because he comes at you like a spider monkey, and he is a 4/4. And a shout out to the developers for saying, you know what, Amethyst Steel needs? We need Steel to have more power. So we have the Black Heron, we have Lexington, and we also have a pass. Because he says, literally, I am so scared of what Zan's going to do. I'm keeping everything upright, vigilant, alert, if you will, if you're Lexington, because he's passing to Zan and saying, Zan, I don't know what you're going to do. Please don't hurt me.
Yeah, Zan now turn 3. We are going to get that Cheshire Cat. It's a great card on turn 3. Zan with the power turn there. Just sorry, it was really quick and had a long time to think about it. But the Cheshire Cat coming out, a card that's doing a lot of work. We've seen Zan use it very, very effectively in this deck. It's one of the keys to his control in the mid game. So back over to Jonathan Lamb as he.
Sorry, there's a story in the chat that I really like because we saw Tiago. We had him round 1 because he won the last one, and that's kind of a fun tradition. And I talked to somebody out there that said, yeah, my friend got paired against Tiago, and they said, you'll never believe who I just got paired against on stream, Tiago. So shout out. It was a lovely match. I believe they were playing. Am I making that up? It's been a long day. I am so sorry, Ember WC. But it was a lovely match to watch because Tiago, unfortunately, he's one of the best in the business and has helped train LamChopss, who we see in the top 4.
One of the friendliest in the business.
He is. It's so wonderful. It's so when someone's good, you're kind of like, oh no, what if they're mean? No, Tiago is so genuinely kind, and he's always carrying his stuff in a raggedy bag. Today it was Panda Express. Yesterday it was Quick Trip. It was Walmart at Milwaukee. So I think I'm gonna make a fan account of the bags of Tiago, and at every event I'll show what bag Tiago has decided to carry his stuff in.
You're also a really good player when you own a name. Right? Tiago's last name, I mean...
Santana, right?
Yeah, we know it.
Yeah.
But nobody says it. Because now if you're another Tiago who comes in and is really good at Lorcana, that's your name. We have to somehow qualify that name.
That's Tiago.
Yeah.
Tiago. Yeah, I tried. That was tough. I was doing that one live, but he's done all this thinking. Listen, he has to go through this whole thing. So here we go. We're going to do a genie because it's always good to draw a card before you go ahead and do anything else. And time is...
Strength.
Yeah, strength. Fair. And that is one... I think the lovely Ali Sweet made a shirt for Harlan Sweet, who are 2 players over in the UK, that said 1, 2, 3 strength, and that 1, 2, 3 strength, he did it. Now it was technically 1, 1, 3 strength, but it still does the same thing. And finally, we see something turn sideways because you eventually get the criticality where yes, the Royal Guard can swing back, but he can't hit everything, and the Cheshire Cat's gone, so you don't have to worry about moving damage around.
That's true. Jonathan or LamChopss, John getting that underneath the 3-card threshold too. So. Lexington will be able to ready next turn. But that's the classic opening from this deck. 1, 2, 3 strength, hitting the genie ideally. And now we're on to turn 5. If he's on his ideal curve, hopefully he'll be able to hit that Elsa this next turn, or perhaps a Dumbo to start drawing cards. But Zan cracking open that guidebook, seeing what he needs to do to draw some cards. Guidebook just says draw 2 cards. So.
It does. I honestly, I love a book that says exactly what you need to do. Now that is, let's see. So he has a 4/4. Does he have Challenger 3? Help. Yeah, he Challenger 1.
Whenever you draw a card, this character gains Challenger +1.
My goodness.
So it stacks it up with the guidebook.
You know, and that's the thing, guys. This Red Bull in front of me, it is half drunk. But by the end of this, guys, I will not make any more mistakes. I promise you.
It's been a long day.
I'll never make you another... Now, 2 is hard. But here we go. We're going to go ahead, and now we're going to be cash in what we just did. And there is
the Horseman strikes.
He strikes. It's actually, you have to say it again because it's an exclamation mark.
Oh, sorry. The Horseman strikes.
Thank you.
Strikes down that genie, sending it to the discard pile. That card is in here to banish Dumbos, to banish Elsas, and to banish genies. But in here for this exact scenario. So LamChopss hit his ideal curve, but Zan with both of the answers to kind of keep the board under control. Hypnotic Strength there, not terribly great in this matchup at the moment, so just used there to draw a card and establishing that Olaf there, which we've seen used very effectively with Docs before, so likely that the Olaf sits there for a while until he can leverage it to either replay a Hades or replay a Dock. And I think we also see a Thunderbolt in hand. Is that what that is?
He only has one in the deck, so that is pretty fortuitous, if so, because he needs to save it for some whaley, scary stuff coming up. But in this case, he's going to go ahead and drop a Cheshire Cat and 2 Rafikis, pass on back, and see if I'm imagining he's going to hold on to that Thunderbolt because, well, the Cheshire Cat can be a problem, especially knowing that Hook is all 3 characters on board are Cheshire Cat sized. Now we do need to have some damage carried. You can't just create damage out of nowhere. So right now, in the words of Rebecca Quest, they are doing some Lorcana Gambit in their Mind Palace. And you have to. I mean, I will say, I'm not envious of John. Can I call you John? Jonathan LamChopss. His last name is not Chops, it's Lamb. Anyway, he has to think through these turns. And right now, he has a Hades, which he needs to ink if he wants to play that Hades. He has something else that's so fast.
Yeah, the Uninkable Thunderbolt
is
and
Strength? Did he
the
drop like a
Hades.
Strength? Because he could pay full price for Strength. That's still not enough. So, yeah, not a fun position to be in because you have to ink the Strength to play the Hades.
Yeah, but the Strength, I mean, if it is a Strength, and I didn't see,
I don't know.
you'd want to hit that cat, and not enough characters on board.
That darn cat.
So,
Another Disney property. I think
yeah, so it is, we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's so funny. Strength's one of those cards that when you want it when it comes to you and you don't need it, you're like, how dare you? Like after you lose your whole board and you top deck a Strength, and you're like, how dare you show up and show your face
Yeah.
around here? But in this case, we will ink the Strength and play. Let's look for a deal and see if Zan will take it. He says no. You can draw no cards, which is fair because
Yeah.
this is not a very impressive board state. And so he's like, you know what? I probably will be fine. I have 3 cards. I'm not scared at all. I just drew a card off of the Pumpkin Man. I have lots of options. So if I am Jonathan Lamb, I'm a little nervous and sad about this deal and how it worked out.
Yeah, part of the game is obviously reading your opponent, trying to dissect what they have in their hand, what their game plan is. And when you're inking a Strength, that's probably one of the last cards that you want to ink if you can avoid it. And so inking that there in order to play the Hades, Zan reading, like he's low on cards, seeing he's low on cards, low on options, not ideal, does not want to give him any more fuel going into this later game. So, and he has, some Rafikis there to deal with the hook. So I think he's feeling okay right now, despite the fact that Jonathan Lamb has managed to push himself up to 7. Zan is somewhat concerned about is concerned about the lore race, not so concerned about his lore though. It's less of a race and more of a me keeping you low while I pursue the 3 cards I need to instantly win the game, basically.
Exactly, right? I mean, he has 2 games. The I can't let you win and I find the cards. So right now he's in the I can't let you win phase. And also, I mean, the whole time, so many of his cards have, and then you draw a card. So he's kind of just trying to invest in himself as he has a plan. Now, 2 Rafiki, not the greatest. Now, Rafiki can famously go ahead and challenge into these hooks and survive to tell the tale. But one thing I will note is this Olaf is very, very powerful in the sense that if you go ahead and strike him down, he shall come back more powerful than ever because you are allowed to bounce one of your own characters back to your hand. So if a Dock should come down, a giant cobra, then you do not want that Olaf around. So that might be something he's interested to get rid of now versus later.
Yeah. It is interesting because one of the calculations of playing that Hades, one, it's the only thing you can play. You're trying to do some board control. You're establishing some board presence. But you'd love to get it. It's a card you'd love to get back if you can. So playing the Olaf there basically lets you, it threatens the Hades bounce if Zan wants to clear that off. So
yeah, and it's just kind of as long as this, and it's when he leaves play. So sometimes there's a little caveats where you're like, aha, he got sent into the ink, but this is not the case. So in this case, though, we'll go ahead. He leaves play. So if you want to, you may return that Hades to your hand, but you do have to pay 5 ink to play him again, which means you can't Thunderbolt and Hades, but he does let it go back to his hand. So shout out to the boosting Cheshire Cat.
Yeah, that's great. We're gonna look at that cat again.
I love that, right to the hand. He's like, again.
Yep. And again, Zan with the same calculations, same exact calculations before, but this time saying, hey, you can have the 2 cards. I'd rather keep the cat around.
Yeah, and now we have another strength. So he's found all his strength. And as we said, that's very important, but you do need characters for the strength to matter. A Hill of Beans, but we have a Royal Guard and an Elsa Fifth Spirit of my ability.
Right.
Yeah, our abilities to just see cards from.
Yeah, we tilt our heads in the booth here to try to see the hand a
we
little
do.
better.
I'm glad you guys can't see
every
it.
single
it's
time.
It's very embarrassing
Yep.
because this is not how matches work. You cannot see through the computer that way.
No, that's not how physics works.
It isn't.
But nevertheless, we try every time.
So we got the cards. He's debating right now whether he wants to ink the strength to play the Pirate's Guard. Now it's kind of counterintuitive, right? You need characters to make the strength better, but if you ink the strength, then you can't play strength. So it's not a fun thing to do, and He's not playing against a deck that's going to send anything into his inkwell. So he's just kind of making, I think, truly the decision: do I ink strength and get this royal guard down, or do I go ahead and pass?
Yeah, that's the calculations there. We will ink that strength. We will play the guard, establish that on the board, and pass it back over. Really, I mean, the problem is Jonathan Lamb. I almost said
I know.
Jonathan
To be
Williams.
fair, there is Jonathan Williams, and I just read on the other stream. But yes,
Yeah, I got in my head.
Lamb.
So John, to be clear, Jonathan needs to worry about he needs to be pushing his lore total. Ideally, he has to win this race a little bit every turn, or be building up a significant. Because what Amethyst Steel really wants to do is go wide in the end game, build up significant resources in the mid game, and go wide with some medium sized characters, high lore questers in the end game. And so he's either playing that card draw game where he's getting value out of cards like Genie and Dumbo and drawing cards off Hades and things like that, or he needs to be pushing his lore total every turn. And right now he's doing neither. Forced into an awkward control role, even though Zan isn't pushing his lore total. He's just trying to establish enough board presence to keep things under control while he pursues his end game combo. So it's I feel like it's a tough spot for Jonathan Lamb to be in. Although one of the things about Amethyst Steel that's really great is at any time you can kind of reset things and get things going with Doc by dumping cards and drawing two and pairing it with Olaf and all of that. So he's one top deck away from kind of re-energizing things, but in the meantime, kind of awkwardly trying to figure out how to navigate this mid game.
Yeah. Big shout out to I saw a lamb and then a steak and then lamb steak, but it's lamb chop, lamb chop, lamb chop. Big fan of that. But this is one Infernal Schemer. My goodness, not Infernal Schemer. It's his friend. This is looking for a deal. It's such a fascinating card because it really is. In a combo deck, you need to draw cards. That's Zan. Everything he's doing is trying to go for drawing these cards. So in this case, he said, "Would you like to keep your Hades or let me draw a card?" And he's like, "I don't know if you draw one of those cards. I looked at your list for like 30 minutes before this match, and they all scared me. So I don't want you to draw two more cards. No, thank you." So he does go ahead and take whatever version of the deal that is, where he sends Hades to the bottom and says, "My turn. Let's see what we can do." And another hook. My goodness, is that the fourth hook?
That is a place. That is bingo. It's a play set. Full house.
Yes, you do.
Four of a kind.
Yahtzee.
Yeah, you get bonus. No, you don't.
No,
But,
you get nothing. You get a one drop, which is not exactly what he wants right now, but it is.
I
something.
think if you play four hooks, are you going to mix the old and the new art, or are you committing to one or the other?
I'm old art forever. I think the old art was so good. He has a little knife hand. He has knife hook. I can't ever betray that one. Shout out to the new art because it is quite fun. But here we go. We have.
You know what makes it so good? I'm sorry, we're on Jonathan.
Yeah, right.
It's the flavor text on Old Hook, where he says,
They changed the flavor text?
because the overall flavor text is based on the art.
Oh.
It says he loves to make light of his foe's predicament, and
It's
it was
Tinkerbell
Tinkerbell in the so he made her into a light.
It
And
was
the
a
flavor
beautiful
text,
cold foil, too.
it is the flavor text married with the card art is like
What's the new
wonderful.
flavor text? Jonathan, please
I
tell
don't
us.
think anything.
Do we have a new hook up in here?
This is where
New
we're-
hook. New
this
hook
is,
up
this
in
is
here.
where we're at. We're gonna take a look at that.
Hey,
flavor
all
text.
right. If you love Disney Lorcana, name every Disney Lorcana ever. And man, do I love Disney Lorcana. We have color. Law has helped us out greatly. But here we go. We will. Sorry, I'll explain how. I didn't leave you there, but we're gonna go ahead and exert that Rafiki. The good news is Elsa can take out one Rafiki and live to tell the tale. The Palace Guard can take out the. Well, no, he's not new here, so he can go ahead. Sorry, these turns are. So he is able to go ahead and take care of two characters, but that's not where he
Yeah,
wants to be.
No, and the problem is the Cheshire Cat takes care. Well,
It's like
no,
one of those
it
things.
doesn't. I was like,
It's something to kind of get rid of two characters. But like you said, he can easily boost. Boosting just costs 2 lore and then 2 ink rather. So it's one of those things like, do you want to? Is it that big of a deal? Don't you want characters? And the thing is he has a hook, and he hurls Thunderbolt. So it's like, oh. Well, so it's kind of he's not in a place he wants to be. This is the part where he wants to be chaining docks together in the infinite dock, a clinic of docks, if you will. But here we go. He's going to start the challenge. He's going to do what he can because he knows at the end of the day he's not going to win in the quest race because he's got some heavy duty challengers on the other side. Now, will he take care of the other Rafiki? 2 on docks. Can Elsa sing this turn? No, you can rush. Rush allows you to go ahead and challenge, but you can't sing. You gotta dry. So in the next turn, she can go ahead and sing. But right now, the only thing she can do is quest. Not quest. The opposite of that.
I've been saying a clinic of docs, but a practice of docs might be better.
That is true.
Looking at
I quite like that. A cohort of docks, if you will, if you're feeling.
And we will challenge into the other Rafiki. Palace Guard cleaning that up. And a quick pass Then over to Zan. Zan now we'll see how he reacts, trying to build his board a little bit. And again, for those just joining us as we're navigating this match, Zan is playing up Horseman Strikes, striking down. Wait, you say it.
The horseman strikes.
Striking down Elsa, and the Cheshire Cat's going to go in, clean up that Palace Guard. We're going to boost to remove that last damage counter over that we need to take it down. And so Zan clearing the board there and questing with that Hades. For those just joining us, Zan is playing a fun combo deck. It's an infinite combo deck where if he establishes a couple cards on the board, he wins the game basically instantly. We could make him play it through, but we generally don't. And so that's inevitability. I would say is absolutely with Zan's deck. The longer this game goes, the higher his percentage chance of winning. But this feels pretty good. Thunderbolting that cat. We're going to send a couple cards to the discard pile. It's a Demona and a Palace Guard, which are underneath that. And it's very, very important to note for us and for Zan and for everybody and for his opponent, which cards have been boosted or going to the discard pile, because he does have some of those key cards that he's pursuing. And every single one that goes to the discard pile changes the math a little bit about what he's looking for, and also changes the cards that he's looking for in order to make it work. He does have a single copy of Circle of Life in here, which he can use to pull back one of his combo pieces if he needs to, and as part of his combination. So, yeah. So anyway, so inevitabilities with Zan, he wants to draw this thing out, but as we look at him progress his lore total, obviously you can win the old-fashioned way, as you would say, and just quest out, as you saw him do in previous games when you can't find that combo. But the other thing is, if he can get in a position where he is at 11, 12, 13 lore and kind of pushing the game, it forces Jonathan Lamb into a control role, because Jonathan, if he wants to win this game, has to win this game and not let Zan find those combo pieces. So
Yes.
even though lore is not necessarily like racing for lore, questing for lore is not necessarily the win condition Zan's looking for, if he can get in a position where he's threatening game in a couple turns, it forces Jonathan to challenge rather than pursuing his win con.
Yeah, I mean, it's so tricky because you can definitely tell like we're doing the fridge method here, where you're kind of like, okay, what can my deck do that can get me out of the situation? Calhoun is not a card that we love to see mid to late game in pretty much any matchup. But in this case, we have a Calhoun, we have an Elsa. The Elsa is able to go ahead and put 2 damage on Genie, which it could come in handy later. This could be like a Mouscatool that could come in handy later if he has his own Cheshire Cat, or I think he's probably there's no bell in this economy. Bell's out.
Well,
But
it does. So this does set up a vulnerability to a cat here, though. We already have had a couple go away. I
there's
think.
been so many glamours of cats.
Well, one to the bottom of the deck, one to the discard pile, I think, if I'm doing the math correctly. So, this does set up a quick Calhoun banish if he finds another cat. But in the meantime, Genie with a couple damage
And
counters sitting around.
kind of doing a little bit of a egging on. What's that term? Where you're hoping that they'll say you can do it. You're inviting it in, saying, "Oh, you can maybe get challenge back if you want to." I mean, why would you? I don't know, but it's something that you can sometimes do, and you're kind of saying, "I don't think you will," because why would he, right?
Yeah.
Genie would go and he wouldn't, so you're like, "I'm fair. It's fine. It's safe. I can finish it later on my next turn."
And it also shuts down the Genie quest this turn is the big thing as well. If you don't want to lose it.
Use it or lose it, they say. So we are looking here. Zan. So Zan doesn't have the easiest route forward. He does have to play this deck like a medium kind of control. He focuses on control and card draw in the meantime. So we're gonna go ahead and get rid of that Calhoun, and then we'll also clean up the board and say he's like, I'm happy to do it. It's fine. I'll go ahead and trade in. Get that Elsa off the board as well. And now here we go. We have a Genie. We have damage again, which, like we said, isn't the worst thing if he has another Cheshire Cat that appears. And there's a monster going to the ink, which is one place you can't get the card back from.
That's true. If a monster is going to the ink, it leads me to believe he has another one in hand. Obviously, you need to get the ink to 8 to play the monster anyway, but I think the indication here is that he has another whale sitting in his hand. And a quick turn from Jonathan Lamb there, playing the Genie, and then back over to Zan. And there is that monster which he was hanging on to. And now this is dangerous territory here.
If you have a Zeus, I recommend you use it.
Yeah, and clearly one card in hand, not enough. So this is going to be dangerous here, because now Zan only needs to establish that Great Illuminary, I believe, to start doing some shenanigans. He has 2 cards in hand as well, which is what you need to cycle it through.
Oh, he should.
And he has the Donald Duck instead. That will also be kind of brutal, because that gives Monster the ability to exert to draw a card, and then you can do the thing you need to do. And that will, I think, because you need the ink.
He's
the
defined
duck.
this.
No.
We know the way, right? Because we know the way needs to be in the deck. Because he's just going to be drawing to it.
That's the thing. Yeah. So here's the play here. So you're going to start drawing and discarding every single turn, or every drawing and discarding, finding the cards you need. There's enough cards in hand to maintain 2. One of the things you're looking for is Alan Dale. You don't have the cards to or the ink to play Alan Dale, but you don't need to, because what you're going to do is you're going to discard the Alan Dale. You're going to play the Circle of Life, sing the Circle of Life with Monstro in order to put Alan Dale in play and play him for free. So that being established, all you need to do then is grab a We Know the Way. Monstro can also sing We Know the Way, and so you can play that for free. And we're going to get to see it played out here. So there he's found the one card that's the We Know the Way. Now he's looking for Alan Dale. Another Monstro and another We Know the Way. He's like, I might as well keep the second one. Oh, he does have the Alan Dale in hand. But now he needs the Circle of Life. So that's the last card he's looking for here. The play being, I discard the Alan Dale. I sing the Circle of Life. Put the Alan Dale in play. And then we can start doing the We Know the Way shenanigans and singing infinitely.
Yeah, so I mean, and this is something where in some games that are older and more mature, sometimes people will say, I have the combo, and they just show the combo, and then people just say, okay, it's over. But in this case, you do need to make your player, or it's smart to have them play it out. He just put the Alan Dale back.
He does. Well,
so he wants to get the circle.
He needs the circle, yeah, because he doesn't have the ink to play Alan Dale, so to get it in play, he finds the Circle of Life,
so
which would be so funny if it was the last card in the deck.
So here's something I talked about that would be funny is if he accidentally boosted.
There
he only
it
has
is.
one copy, but he went past it. All right, well, keep going. We keep going. All right. Is he just decking himself for some reason? What is happening? Well, here we go. We know the way.
And that's gonna play. That's another way to play the Alan Dale. Because you put
so
the Alan Dale on top.
stop drawing because basically you don't lose because you drew the last card. You lose when you go past.
So there's the Alan Dale. Now that you reveal the top card of your deck, it's the Alan Dale. You play it for free. Here it comes. Alan Dale comes into play. Or he's cycling. He's showing him the combo is what he's doing. So he's saying, I put the We Know the Way on top. We Know the Way. Yeah, he's explaining the combo to him. The We Know the Way gets played over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and then I just use the Alan Dale to gain lore infinitely. So
yes,
there it goes.
You might see me laughing only because it looks like Remy is also in shock by this. I've never seen such a thing where both the player and his pocket or shoulder rat are going, oh my gosh. But that is how the combo. And shout out to Zan for showing it because it is very, very easy to just say, got the combo. And you show it. But this is important to note. Zan had the lower seed, which means Zan went second. So Jonathan Land had a chance to go ahead and establish a pretty dominant board and make it where Zan couldn't necessarily have as much, success. I mean, he won. Now combo's hard because he's at 4. He went from 4 to 20 in one turn, which is hard to do in most decks.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, it basically is interesting that he went first, and sometimes that's very good for Amethyst Steel. Most decks, if you're going first and you're Amethyst Steel, it's a great time. But now Jonathan Lamb will go first again and say, hey, I know the way and I don't like it.
Yeah, away, away. I wish this card wasn't revealed.
Hey, Rebecca, can you not next
Thanks,
time?
Rebecca, for giving us this infinite combo.
Yeah, Rebecca quest, ironically, no questing there. It was a combo, so it's very confusing, Rebecca.
It's very confusing, yeah. Thanks for that.
I will say there are some graphics. I believe there was a Instagram user where I found a graphic that had
So it's a great one by onemorelore.au.
Yes.
Yes. She's a great content creator on Instagram from Australia. Onemorelore.au has a great infographic
and it helped me a lot because I had the cards and it talks about it. Because when we talk about it out loud, I mean, that's why, you saw Zan explain it to Jonathan Lamb before the match. Jonathan Lamb, I don't know if you guys know this, he's pretty good at Lorcana. He's played it a lot. And still, he just won. And he's like, can you please one more time tell me what happened? Because it's kind of crazy. I mean, Lorcana is not known for combo decks. This is something that is very, very... it's usually other games have combos, but we don't have one yet. So winning this way is kind of a new thing. But as you guys might see in the background, there's like 3 judges milling about. Zan's explaining it. So I think at this point, this isn't saying, I think he truly is like, can you please explain it so I can avoid this again? Because it's hard. It's hard to get out of that kind of win. A one-turn win is not a fun thing to get hit by.
Yeah, and one of the things I'm sure Jonathan is doing is something that, we did earlier where once you learn the combo and you're figuring out what he's trying to do, it's like, how do I disrupt it? What can I do to get rid of some of these key combo pieces, either when they hit play or from your hand or whatever? Like, what can I do to prevent this from happening to me? And there isn't a whole ton, to be quite honest. One of the big ways, Well, there's really not a whole lot, honestly.
Well, I mean, we saw that there was a good way to get rid of the monster because a monster is one puzzle piece where if you let him dry, he can start doing the singing thing.
So you have to get rid of it before it dries. Yeah.
Yes, so you have one turn from the minute you see the whale, and that's not easy because he is a beefy boy.
Yep.
So that's one way. It doesn't prevent it forever because we've seen that there's ways to get cards back from your discard. It's not over, but it is a delay tactic.
Yeah.
But yeah, combos like that, that's why they're not fun.
The other way, there is a weird way you can do it by banishing boosted cats. Because if the Alanadale, or because if you can send enough We Know the Ways to the discard pile and like key elements of the combo, but you have to get really, really lucky and hope that the boosted cards are combo pieces
Yes,
and
we
get
talked
rid of
about-
enough of them.
we
That's
talked
really
about
the biggest
earlier
way.
That we're like, did you get a chance to ask if the Madam M Elephant is in there to rescue cats?
I didn't, but I didn't ask
That is
him.
a
But
theory we had because we were talking about, like, when you boost, you don't get to look. You just take the top card, flip it, put it right underneath. So, I mean, in theory, what if something was stuck in there? And Liam so brilliantly said, what if we elephant the cat? And
Yeah.
so the elephant is Madam M Elephant, which when you play it, you go ahead and bounce one of your characters in play back to your hand, and any cards that are underneath it, any Cheshire Cat remnants will come with it. So that is one thing. Someone ban
Yeah.
the rooster. Yes, after today.
Ban Alanadale. Yeah,
Alanadale,
ban
the most
Alanadale is the
problematic card
problem.
in the
Alan's
game.
been the problem all along. It was Alan all along. But yeah, no. And the chat pointing out, yeah, this is a telegraphed. Well, so yeah, I mean, it is a telegraphed combo. If you know what you're playing against, you know what they're trying to do, and you know, kind of that you need to win quickly, etc. But again, like the big problem with this deck is that it makes use of the Amethyst core, which is very, very good. It has a lot of control options in the mid game, and then you gave Amber this the Horseman Strikes to banish some of these really, really pesky evasive characters that are everywhere in the Amethyst mirror. So it has a lot of the tools that a lot of the other Amethyst decks have, as well as the Horseman Strikes, which allows you to draw out the game. If you had a combo like this in other colors that didn't make use of the Amethyst core, it would be nigh unplayable. But basically, all you're doing is leveraging the Amethyst core, changing out a few cards, and now it's a very effective deck. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think it's very interesting to see decks because I'm looking at the post about the combo. I mean, the post was 6 months ago. Someone said, "Is this really illegal?" 6 months ago. So that kind of shows it took 6 months and several sets for this combo to have the power around it to support what it needed to actually survive in the meta.
yeah, and what? So it was viable months ago. That's a great point because people have been talking about this forever, and we even had some people in the chat say, "I'm surprised people are just learning about this." And yes, it has been around for a while, but a couple key cards changed it. One was before you had to rely on the Donald. And Donald is very expensive. He's 8 cost. You have to ramp to him. It's very wonky and it's very difficult to get to stick the Donald and the Monstro and etc. The Great Illuminary changed that. The Abandoned Laboratory allowed you to do the combo for a lot cheaper. So that's one. And the nice thing about it, the Great Illuminary Abandoned Laboratory 2, is it's a card that you can use in a pinch in the mid game. So if you're struggling to find certain cards and you've got a couple characters in play, but you've got 4, 5, or 6 inks sitting around, in a stretch, you drop the laboratory, slide some Rafikis over there, and draw a few cards. So it's not like a dead card that, like the Donald is. It's going to sit in your hand until you have 8 ink. It's a card that you can use in a pinch. So that's one thing. Circle of Life gives you a little bit extra utility too, and then it's subtle. It seems kind of subtle, but the Horseman Strikes gives you some control
Yes.
in the mid game, which is really important. It checks the Dumbo that your opponent's going to use to power in. It checks a Genie, which your opponent's going to use to get lore.
And Prince Philip, an evasive powerhouse.
yeah.
This one card that, I mean, we saw on the board in that last game, he had a Prince Philip out there a couple times. It's like, okay, we quest for 3. What are you going to do? He's huge. And the answer is pumpkin. You just throw a pumpkin at him. And a flaming pumpkin is pretty scary when you have evasive. So it is very interesting. And then it lets you draw a card, which is kind of like it's helping him in 2 ways because between Genie, Elsa, you just said it, Dumbo, and Prince Philip. I mean, my goodness, that's a very valuable tool to have against the big share of the decks in the top 16.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. I mean, we're at that point where, my goodness. So we're going into game 2. They're having a lengthy discussion because I think Zan is one of those players that I think he gets quite excited. My goodness, sorry, Meyer Amanda just said I just did a nice 12-mile run. Okay, but thank you so much. That means a ton because Meyer is wonderful. He, I believe, I don't know if he's back from deployment yet, but I mean, he has been he's been like streaming from wherever he is. He's one of those streamers that never gives up. So thank you for that. But also great job on 12 Mile Run. But here we go. We
Yeah.
are going into game number 2.
People in the chat saying and speculating like Zan has to brick for Jonathan Lamb to win. No,
No,
Purple
yeah.
Steel can beat this deck. Jonathan did not have a great mid game there, and did not. It wasn't great. And so Purple Steel can definitely beat this deck. There's no hand disruption, in Zan's deck either, so you can. If you manage to build a wide board, save up a couple of strengths, or we saw in a game, Katie, where somebody extended the game quite a bit by both strengthening and bolting a monster in the same turn. So if you have a strong mid game where you manage to string some genies together, string some docks together, and dump a wide board and accumulate a couple removal cards, you can prepare and actually power into the end game. But you have to be doing two things. I mean, you have got to be pushing your lore total. You have got to be accumulating a little bit of lore every turn. And then you really need to accumulate those removal cards to deal with that first monster when it sticks. But easy, Purple Steel does stand a chance against this deck, but it is a bit of a challenge. Blurple is a little bit easier because you do have Hades, which is a clean answer to the Monstro. But Purple Steel having to do it with damage, obviously a lot tougher.
Yeah, so it's not easy. I mean, I think that's the thing with combo decks is you pretty much just have to make sure you win. And then so Zan's whole thing is he's like, I want to combo and I want to control you. And so I think right now he kept a single Calhoun. And then he's just one by one saying, all right, what do we got here? And already
There's
some
the
good things.
Strength, the Calhoun, the Cat on 4, another strength. The hook for turn 1, and the Elsa for 5. So it's not terrible. I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have the strength. The Elsa there. We talk about the damage. I was talking about the damage, the action cards that could use for removal, Katie. But there is a world in which Hypnotic Strength is leveraged with Elsa and strung together with something else. So
It's true.
but you need a large hand. You need to be accumulating those removal resources because Zan needs to stick a whale, and as we saw, if he has 2. If he draws into 2 and he's unlucky, he's likely to ink 1 to get to the second one. And that doesn't mean he can't do the combo if you banish 1, but it does stretch things out and give you a window. So I think the key is, do I accumulate the tools to deal with the first whale, or does the whale stick around?
Yeah. Will the whale survive to tell the tale? I don't know.
I was looking for more whale puns.
More whale puns. It's all I know is it's whaley exciting.
Katie, I speak whale.
Yeah, I'm so surprised we haven't done that yet because I thought about it last time, but I'm like, the poor audience. They will. I think we can get away with it for like 2 seconds, but I think you do it because I think they'll be better.
Hello, Twitch chat. I think the Twitch. I think chat is more forgiving when the game's a little longer.
That's true. If we were doing that and like it was
we have
like
room for whale impression
back and forth, and we're like, no, I want to do a Dory impression right now. But here we go. We are out the gate. We have a Captain Hook forceful duelist on the board here. So the game is afoot, which is its own card actually. But here we go. We are going to ink that Stomping Mad Parrot and play Rafiki, mystical fighter who is excellent for keeping things in check because he has that 3 ability to swing in. So if that Calhoun turns sideways, it'll be the last thing she does.
Jonathan Lamb here, off to a fast start. He is going to quest with that hook, so not going to be there to fuel the, inviting the challenge from the Rafiki. Of course, the Calhoun there will crack back into the Rafiki, gain 2 lore. Here's Zan's ramp on turn 2. Blurple plays the ramp, a ramp card, Sail the Edge or Tipo. Zan plays Lantern as his form of ramp, trying to power him towards that 8 ink he needs for that monster. So this 1-2 is kind of Zan's ideal opening, I think. So here we are, off to the races. Of course, Zan left not wanting that 2 lore off the Calhoun, cracking into that Rafiki, so letting that challenge go unpunished from that Captain Hook, and it's back over to John, for turn Lamb. I'm just going to say Lamb.
Yeah, honestly, it's fair.
Back over to Lamb.
Jan's not here. That's a whole new person. But I don't know if you got a chance to see at the very end of game 3 of the last round, Zan had 4 lanterns on board. I haven't seen such a thing in 1,000 years, but it was very exciting. Shout out to items. We've seen Enigmatic Incaster. We got Lantern. We saw Amethyst and Emerald Chrome. Actually, no, I don't see any Emerald Chromicons today. But they were there, I'm sure, somewhere. We just didn't see them.
Yeah.
So I'm excited when items do some things because it's fun. And like you said, it is a way to get some. Are you looking? Oh, is it a wolf? Does he not have a 3?
3 docks.
3 docks. See, and that's honestly not fair because the last game, a dock would have been beautiful, wouldn't it?
Yeah, this
is miserable. It's the most miserable thing you can. Now, he can play a dock here. and just do nothing and then wait
Yep.
and hope that he draws something. Now the thing is that you can't sing and he really wants to sing next turn.
Really wants to sing, and it's such an ink problem. Because now, I mean, now you're staring at this having to ink the strength, um, most likely, and so it's kind of it's so bad.
It is, and it's one of those impossible decisions because not only does he kind of know that he's against the chaos that is Zan's combo deck, but he also knows that like it's really just not ideal. It's not an ideal thing to have as a player. So he is just kind of
Yeah.
picking his poison, and I'm not envious.
You want to know the kicker, Katie? He only runs three
Three
docks,
all
instead of
three
the four,
docks,
so
which is statistically
100%.
Yeah, and the thing is, that people said pile shuffle backfire. I mean, he shuffled 5 different 1,000 ways. I mean, we saw him shuffle. I think Zan shuffled. There was shuffling everywhere. So honestly, this is some kind of sinister doc behavior. He this is not user error. These are docs doing magnetic things. I think he's looking for a camera for someone to come out and say, "Hey, just kidding." But it's not so bad. It's not the unturnable corner. It's not good though. You can't really be excited about what is happening to this poor player in front of us. But
Yeah, Jonathan thinking through
playing
which
it,
way.
and honestly, like on one of the docs are signed, I think, by the artist. But either way, playing the doc, I think isn't the worst thing in the world because at the end of the day, Zan's not racing. Zan's trying to get combo pieces. So if he just plays the doc and then just delays everything by one turn, I don't think it's the worst thing that's ever happened in life. I think it is recoverable, but I don't think it feels good. I think that's what he's doing. It's like, well, it doesn't feel good. Um, so I don't know. I don't know what I would do. And I think if he doesn't know, if Lamb doesn't know, and he's been playing this deck all day, and I certainly can't pretend to have the answer here.
Yeah, tough spot. Jonathan thinking through. I mean, what do you want to ink here? You want the removal, or do you want the cat? I mean, if you draw into an uninkable next turn, you're gonna have to ink both.
Yes.
But trying to figure out which way to go here. It's just such a and in pinch you could just dump it all, but
Yeah.
that feels terrible.
Yeah, and it's just he doesn't. I mean, this is kind of one of those things. It's like, well, you're gonna have a bad time. How would you like to? And the answer is, I don't want to do it. So now I will note that they are playing for a CCQ spot. They're paying for $7,000. So that is why they're taking their time. But in this case, he does say, fine, I will go ahead. I'm going to ink my strength. I will play my Cheshire Cat. Now he's debating whether he wants to turn these cards sideways. We do have some challengers on the other side. So he says, I'll keep my board. Don't worry. I'm going to get through this. I can play a dock. I can play 2 docks next turn. We're going to be fine. I'm going to draw something.
You might if you draw an uninkable here.
Yeah, he says,
it's a pinch.
I'm going to see it go. It's going to work.
A genie off the top deck would be brutal.
It would be, but it's not going to
Absolutely
happen.
brutal.
I can't let it happen.
But nevertheless, all right, we're back over to Zan for the response. Watching Zan, not knowing what's in Lamb's hand, but seeing the agonizing decision that he had, clearly knows that something's up. That the play lines aren't quite clean. So now Zan thinking about his way ahead. He has established the lantern that's essentially an extra ink in this character-heavy deck. So trying to figure out the right way to navigate this.
Yeah, So here it goes. I mean, he is kind of in the position where Zan just has a very different game than Jonathan has. He just has to make sure that Jonathan doesn't do anything too crazy, and that board state isn't too crazy. There we go. We see that elephant that we talked about earlier. We can go ahead and get a card bounced back to your hand, which is nice if you're trying to get something to ink or play it later. But he passes. Nice short turn. That was fun.
Yeah.
Nothing to say there, but now we're back.
I think for those interested in deck, I think that is a single copy of the elephant.
Yes, or 2.
2, yeah.
2
double,
elephants.
2 elephants.
1 Timothy Q Mouse, which is notably inkable and in the inkwell. So not a genie, not a Calhoun, and not a doc because he can't. He already has all 3 docs. So now he's like, do I play a doc and hope I get something cool? I would probably play the doc and then
yeah, you doc, draw.
Doc, no doc, doc with doc.
I think, but we'll see. We'll see which way Jonathan goes. There it is. That one's signed by Mariana Moreno.
I know, she's lovely.
The tag team of Mariana Moreno and Alice Bizzoni bringing the dwarves to life in this set in Shimmering Skies, where Kendall Hale was the artist for all 7 dwarves in Rise of the Floodborn. Your little artist trivia for the day.
I love it. I will never try to compete when this becomes artist. I'm like, hey, the artist signed it. I'm like, but that's as far as I'll go because you probably are like, and their social security number. But here we go. So we'll go ahead and discard 1 doc. Going wider, as we know, if he can go ahead and get another strength, then this is a nice board. He got a
cat and a hook.
Cat and Hook. So Cheshire Cat and Captain Hook. Captain Hook, shout out that he has showed up. for all the Docs and Captain Hooks showed up this game. Now, did they need to show up like they have? No, but
No.
it's time to decide. Do you want to let Zan draw 2 cards? And the answer is, I don't like it.
The answer is probably not.
He
Probably
does.
not. We'll say, get rid of that cat. Send
Yeah.
it. That's the deal we'll make. This will go to the bottom of the deck.
Yeah.
Rather you not have 2 cards and back cover. We have another cat in hand, and let's see this top deck. It's like, can I find a genie to save
it a
myself?
Hades?
It is a Hades, which is not awful. Of course, Zan seeing Jonathan kind of struggle the last few turns with these ink decisions, probably not too keen on letting him draw many cards, but we'll see which way this goes. We could also not play the Hades just yet if we want to go wider instead, but we will play the Hades focused on the elephant. Zan now is the biggest presence on the board. Is Zan thinking through?
Yeah, I mean, the elephant is nice. Like, if you're trying to do a I was going to sing Together Circle Life. He has no discard. What am I talking about? But the elephant, I mean, at this point, he says, you know what, well, fine. You can go ahead, draw 2 cards. I like the stats on it. And now, Jonathan Lamb, who previously had a pretty terrible hand, he now has a brand new hand with 1 Cheshire Cat and 2 literally anything else, which is going to keep him in the game. So we'll probably see it at some point. But
Yeah, and a fairly wide board all of a sudden, dropping a lot of characters there.
yes.
That clinic of docs being put to use, both on the board, and then one drawing him a couple cards. So Jonathan all of a sudden feels like he is still from a really difficult hand a few turns ago to where he feels like I feel like he's in this game again.
Yeah.
But hasn't seen, like, look, this game, on these turns, wants to be doing genies, wants to be doing Elsas, wants to be doing Dumbos. Hasn't seen a lick of
No.
one yet.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We talk about, like, what does your deck want to do? What is your win condition? What is the thing that you think this deck does best? And, like, he's not doing it. It's certainly not playing a dock with no dock. And so he's able to stay in the game. It's just he knows that there is a whale in a trench coat behind
Whale
him.
of a problem.
Yes, it's
A whale in a trench coat.
Yeah, just around the corner saying, a whale. Really, it's 20 lore in a whale suit because I mean, basically, if we can get that whale out, like we said, though, there is 1 turn to disturb it. And somebody pointed in the chat, if you have a board of 8, that is one way to take care of a monster. A board of 8 and a strength, and he's getting there. Zan has not done any removal in a while. But he can because 2 of them are sideways. So the whole 8 character strength thing is a little bit more precarious now that those docks have turned sideways. So very interesting here as far as what Zan has. It's so fun because it's one deck that we are not experts, but we've seen a lot. And another deck where I'm like, I think he wants to draw cards and find the pieces, which isn't the greatest commentary in the world to say. I think Zan's trying to draw cards and get the pieces, but that is his plan.
Once again, Zan wants to find Monstro.
Yes, he's looking for it. But there we go. A lantern is a good way to start. And there we go. Oh, so he inked.
I thought
sorry.
I was playing. I was like, sing together on what?
You have no discards,
Zan. So ramping a little bit that turn, and now we're going to challenge into one of those docks, get it off the board, and the other one's going to be cleaned up by the elephant.
Yeah, and damage on elephant is quite fortuitous, for you're able to move that damage around if you need to later. And that does get around resist, which is always a nice little bonus. So we have a Cheshire Cat. We have the Madam Mim. So we just boosted. Where will that damage go?
I imagine we'll see probably damage slide over to that Calhoun. And then at the start of his next turn, nope, we're going to go to the Hades instead. See, that's why I don't make predictions, because, the Zan proves wrong immediately. So sliding over there to that Hades. Now, if that Hades quest, it will be vulnerable to the Rafiki, or the Hades, or the elephant. So that's making it a little more vulnerable there. So
we have Malferon MD saying, imagine if that boost was Maelstro. And this is such a funny thing, right? Because we've talked about that, like, you don't know. So statistically, it could be, but also could be literally any other card. So boosting, very fascinating. But if he does bounce it back to his hands, if it does go to discard, don't worry, folks.
That's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is, well, I guess I was gonna say if it's the Alan Adale, that would be, but you just pull that back with I think so. I think that the worst case scenario is, well, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of how to best disrupt it. Like, because the Circle of Life is gone, so if you lose all the Monstros, that's it. But there are 4, so it'd be very difficult to have all of them banished to an unfortunate boost.
A newly found.
A newly found boost. I think probably there's only 3 we know the ways, so probably losing, a couple of those to the cat is the bigger problem. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating because it's kind of hypotheticals here. But we're going to go ahead, put 2 characters into 1. It looks like we're sending both into the Madam Mim Elephant. Now, that is not fun. It's not fun to use 2 characters ever. But you do get 2 lore. So he is inching towards that 20 lore you need to win. And now he can go ahead and play, deploy, and go a little bit wider if he so chooses.
Yeah, it's such a challenge because you do want to keep some of those pieces over there under control. You want to be able to quest if you can, but one of the ways that you're blowing up that whale is by finding another strength and having a pretty wide board. You kind of need to at least be able to pair it with a thunderbolt if you can. So, yeah, it's so tough.
Yeah, and here is where you are doing not just math, but maths, multiple maths. But Black Heron is a great bird person to add to the arsenal because she is a 3/3. She fits the budget that he has of 2 ink. So she can be there to just put a little bit of pressure if he starts getting to the point where it comes down to challenging. Because, well, as we know, this is a combo deck. You like to win with a combo. But you don't always win with a combo. We watched them fight it out for 500 hours in the last round because it got to the point where it was Emerald Sapphire versus Amber Amethyst, and both of them wanted to do cool combo stuff, and neither of them could. So as a result, they just had to do hand-to-hand combat until the end of
The old-fashioned way.
We're questing the old-fashioned way.
Do it like we did back in the day.
And back in the day,
back in my day, we had to quest to win.
Yeah, and now we don't. We have whales and songs and chickens, singing chicken men. So here we go. He is thinking. Every time we say he is thinking, you guys can go ahead and donate $1 to charity of your choice. I'm running out of stall ways, but I mean it's interesting because Jonathan has been able to turn this around a little bit, where he is actually in a little not as dire straits as he was a couple turns ago. I mean, getting through those 3 docks was quite the tunnel to get through, and he has mostly. Now, I don't know 100% what is in his hand, and neither does Zan, and neither of them have the kind of cards where you can say, "Can you tell me really quick?" So he passed. He passed.
Yep, pass back.
Oh,
over.
did he ready his ink at the end? Did he play nothing? What did I miss?
I don't think he played anything.
Listen, I gotta drink more Red Bull. But he didn't quest. So I was like waiting. I'm like, don't worry, because usually there's some ink turned sideways and some characters turned sideways. Does he have any cards in hand?
It does.
Okay, so he has some cards in hand. So that's something at least. Which if I'm Jonathan Lamb, I'm like, what are you up to over there, Zang? You're scaring me so much right now.
So the thing is, I don't see how many cards are in hand. I don't think he's hit much card draw. And you have to maintain enough cards in hand to be able to leverage the combo. And so if you ink down to where, like let's say you play the monster, you have no cards in hand, or you have 1 card in hand, you need, I think even 1 card in hand to do it though. So you need to maintain a card. So there is a scenario where if Zan only has a couple cards in hand, he's got the monster, he needs to ink next turn to play the monster, he's just reserving that card so that he can play his combo next turn, because we are at 7, I believe. So 8 hitting next turn will be able to play that combo piece.
Yeah, and that elephant, my goodness. Have you ever seen an elephant? I've seen an elephant fly, but I've never seen an elephant be so afraid of flaming pumpkins, because we've seen Zan use them to great effect. That elephant must survive this turn if we want to go ahead and use his card draw ability. You look concerned. Are you afraid for Dumbo?
No, that Dumbo's in Chinese, and it messed me up for a moment.
You're like,
I was like, wait, what's going on?
But you're like, no, you're glitching, Liam. We've been staring at the screen
glitch
so
in the
long.
Matrix.
So now it is time for where you say, you don't have it, do you? My goodness, look at the amount of people who formed around here. So he's doing a quick audit over there saying, how many strengths have you played? And it's like, wait a minute. You haven't played a single strength this whole game. Now, he has inks, at least one.
A couple.
A couple,
I think 2 have gone into the inkwell.
And there's one, he hurled his Thunderbolt. Wait. Okay. What? Okay, so it looks like he's saying I don't have it, probably. Or combo decks are so fascinating, guys. Was it just a mid-game fist bump?
Let's see. It might be. Let's see. There's the monster.
Okay.
Okay, so now Jonathan has a turn to respond here. He can't. There are outs.
There are.
Even in Elsa, with everything on the board, even in Elsa would be fine. You got a lot to run in there.
You do.
Oh no. All right, so then the question is, get cheeky damage on there. So even in Elsa would have done it. You've got a lot of things to run into that Monstro. But look, this game has been just an unfortunate one for Jonathan. Look at all those docks, and not a single genie, not a single Elsa, not a single. He does have the Dumbo, but there, Zan showing him the abandoned laboratory, and there it is. It's just going to be all the things. You were going to play it out a little bit for you all, the viewers. There comes the lab. Monster is going to go in there. I'm surprised he fits, but nevertheless he does, swimming around there among all of that abandoned things. And now we're going to cycle through the deck. We're looking for a couple cards. Really, we're looking for We Know the Way. We're also looking for an Alan-a-Dale.
But Alan-a-Dale, there's only one in the deck, so it would be very funny if it's magically under the cat.
Oh, would it? Oh my goodness! So that's a fascinating point. Because now Jonathan, I don't know if he asked him to play it out, but that is a potential issue. And with every card that gets flipped, it becomes even more comical that might be the case.
Alan! Yeah,
it's like, Alan!
That's another.
Alan! There's Alan! Oh, there he is.
Alan is not trapped under a cat.
Alan's not trapped under the cat.
Help!
So here we go. Let's see.
Yeah, so I mean, someone is saying he kept that Madam M just in case, but I don't know if he'd have enough ink to go ahead. But either way, we got the combo pieces. Now he is going ahead and showing it. He is not just saying. Now we did see what I've never seen before, a mid-game fist bump, which is crazy business. But he says, wait, I'll show you how to do it. And here we go. We've got judges on the match. We've got everyone watching, and now it's time to see.
We're looking for We Know the Way now.
Horseman Strikes. What are you guys doing down there? But whatever, it's fine. There's Huey, Elsa.
They're all. Wow. There's 3 of them in here.
I appreciate the deck being shuffled in the most dramatic way possible.
There are 3.
We know the way. We know it's at the bottom of the deck. We know the way. Just keep drawing, Zan.
Oh my goodness. There's another whale.
He's like, that way Zan doing things. He's like, what is my deck? But here we go. The way you know the way.
Right,
do you know the way? The answer is yes. It's just I keep it 3 cards from the bottom for dramatic flair.
So here's the thing. Alan-a-Dale has not been discarded. So it's a world in which you discard it. And if you have the cards in hand, you then are able to ready the Monstro, sing with the Monstro, put the Alan-a-Dale back on top. So Alan-a-Dale is in hand, though, and he needs to be on the board. We can do it. We do have the 2 lanterns and the 2 ink readied, so we can play him. That's not a problem. Trying to think through what
would he be singing?
Hmm?
Oh, we know
the way.
Yeah. I'm like, what would he be singing? The whole thing that we just talked about. For a second, I was like, no, Circle of Life, he inked it. Oh my gosh. So now we see Zan doing the maths 500.
So Circle of Life was inked, but we know the way it back. That's fine. But now, I think the catch, the holdup is what is under the cat. Because somebody's saying, I did not see all of Zan's ink, and somebody's saying in the chat that one of the We Know the Ways was inked. And if that's the case, we need the other one, because you have to use one on the Alan-a-Dale. And no, you don't have to use one because Alan-a-Dale's in hand, so you don't need that because you didn't do the discard route. So let's see.
Is he truly like where's
if the other one is under the cat, it's a problem. So
can he run the cat into something?
You need to play one to put the other one on the top, and so that's where the issue is.
So we got the lanterns. Are we gonna Madam M the cat because we're scared it's under the cat? This is incredible. We talked about this theoretically.
It is under the cat.
Oh my gosh, it was under the cat. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, I love a payoff. We're like, it couldn't be under the cat, right? I wouldn't have leave it under the cat. Listen, whenever you lose a remote, you go ahead. You got to check under your cat, even if they're very comfy. So now
he's looking at the cat. The cat had it though. The cat snuck it out there. That is a Cheshire cat thing to do.
That is the most mad.
It's like, I know what you need. I'm just gonna put it under here. So now we need to get the Alan-a-Dale back. So we're gonna empty the deck, and here we go. We're gonna ready the Monstro by discarding that Iago there. We're gonna sing We Know the Way. We Know the Way is going to put Alan-a-Dale on the top of the deck. Now he gets to draw and reveal it. It's the only card, so it goes into play for free. Now we're going to repeat that same thing with another We Know the Way. So We Know the Way is going to see We Know the Way. We Know the Way will then be
Oh
played. We
my.
Know the Way will play the Know the Way. We Know the Way will play that again, and then we'll do that forever, and then we get infinite lore. But you only need 20 to win. You don't need to go any higher. I suppose you could if you want to.
Yeah.
But the most lore counters stop at 20.
They
So
do. Standard regulation stop at 20. Let's have the Donald Duck version, which goes to 25. But in this case, Zan takes it and he has secured his place into the finals. He's secured his Elsa Ice Maker, and he's one step closer to being qualified for nationals. That is a man who's like, hey, combo decks aren't that fun, guys. You sometimes have to go ahead and Madam Mim your cat